Hello, my nomies! For today's show and tell, I brought you the car that I've been driving for the past 3 years. A Prius V. But it's time to turn it in. The lease is due. 2 more days in this car. You've seen it just about every day in the Pirillo vlog, so I'm not going to show you around the outside or the inside. You can watch the vlogs for that. I just wanted to let you know, if I had to do a review on the car, I'd be happy to do so that's why I'm recording the video. It's been a good car. It really has been. It's been my second Prius V that I've had over the past few years. I haven't owned a vehicle or wanted to own a vehicle for the longest time. I don't mind if other people want to own vehicles. It's just not my thing, because to me, owning a vehicle is a different set of responsibilities. And the thing I like most in vehicles is tech. And I know that a lot of people think that all I care about is tech. That is absolutely, completely incorrect. I care about Star Wars too. Although the vehicle was affectionately named TARDIS after I got into Doctor Who over the past few years. I love this car. And the reason I went with a lease is because I know every 3 years, I'm not going to say that technology changes by leaps and bounds, but it progresses to the point where the technology in the cars 3 years from now will be better than the technology today. Typically, at least when you're talking about the same class of vehicle or same range. The Prius V is not sporty. It's not really an economy car. It's a fantastic hybrid. I haven't had a lot of experiences with hybrids, but honestly, it has been an amazing experience. I have zero qualms in recommending a Prius V, specifically the way I spec this out, to anybody. Anybody. It's a great family car, unless you have, a huge family, or unless you have a lot of transportation needs in the sense of, needing to move things from point A to point B. If most of your time is spent in the vehicle commuting to or from work or in town, the Prius V is great. In fact, the Prius V is probably overkill if most of what you're doing is in town. It's a great long-distance driving vehicle. It's a great in-town driving vehicle. It's a great vehicle for, saving gas. In fact, the Prius V made me a better driver in more ways than one. Because when you accelerate in eco mode, which I was pretty much in 24/7, you kind of ease into it. Now, if you can hear the vehicle, it kicked in because I've got it running. I've got the air conditioner on low because I don't want to start sweating in my hoodie. Even though it's pretty nice outside today here in the Seattle area. I saw a lot of Prius vehicles, specifically Prius Vs in Seattle. That's one of the things that, prompted me to try the Prius V a few years ago. This is the second Prius V I think I've had. I'm really bad when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm not a car guy. I'm not a car geek. I'm really just an average consumer who wants to know, how well does it drive? Is it a good car? Is it any better or any worse than others? I don't care necessarily what a car looks like. I saved a lot of money at the pump. I really, really appreciated every time I went to fill it up, which was honestly few and far between in how I drove it. And I'm well within my agreement of how much miles I accrued over the past 3 years for the lease. Very rarely, if ever, did I pay over $35 US at the pump for, 9 gallons, I think is what it topped out at. So that was a good feeling. When I saw everybody else, in their gigantic vehicles or even, same size vehicles paying twice as much. And like, I'd rather pay less at the pump. I'm inclined as someone who is very frugal and not really into show. I'm more into the tech inside the vehicle than I am what the vehicle looks like. More practical in that sense. I like sedans. I think the Prius V is sporty enough. It looks cool. It's a little bulky. Ample legroom in the back, ample legroom in the front, seat warmers, plenty of power options. It was a good car. It really was a good car. I'll be very, very sad to see it go. I've had a built-in nav system in the last 4 of my vehicles built in, and I can't say that the experience has improved over time. It's average. If I had to give the nav system a grade, I'd probably give it a D. But then again, I've tried other nav systems, and I would give the other nav systems either Ds or Fs. They work, but they were great for a time when the iPhone didn't exist. It's easier for me to, pop into Google Maps or Apple Maps and route to where I want to go than it is to plug in through the system. It's the UX is absolutely horrendous. The UI is horrendous, but it's there and it's built in and it's nice to have. But I wouldn't say that the nav system was the best piece of tech in this vehicle. Like I said, by today's standards. But even back in 2012, it kind of sucked. So it hasn't gotten better over time. You can obviously connect your phone by way of Bluetooth. Okay, if that wasn't obvious, you can, and that was convenient. It worked well enough, I would say, for the most part. I think one of the reasons why I like this car and the technology inside the car is not just the built-in Bluetooth or the nav system. There are a couple of features that I know I love, specifically the lack of analog gauges in this car. Once you go digital, it's difficult to go back. I love the fact that you can have different displays on your dashboard. And by the way, I'm going to come back to this. If you want to see the inside of the car, or the outside of the car, I've got over 1,000 Pirillo vlogs and you know, my classic channel, this channel, as well as the dedicated Pirillo vlogs channel. You can look there because I was in this car pretty much every day, showing different parts of it throughout 3 years. But you had like certain indicators showing you where you were in terms of, are you running on electric, or is the battery charging? How much battery is left right now that needs to be recharged? You know, how much power are you applying? Are you wasting fuel? And it was really easy to read. It was super easy to read. The heads-up display was nice. It was convenient. I could live without a heads-up display. That's just a bonus. I don't know if I could live without a nav system, even if it sucked. It's just nice to have there, and honestly, you shouldn't be fumbling with your phone. You know, the nav system is even something that you shouldn't be fumbling with while you're driving, but it is nice to have, especially if you're trying to figure out where you're going to be. And it's in a good position, too, right down here. Like, below the camera, you're sitting on the dash. You've slid off this dash a few times in the vlogs. So, the thing that I liked about the technology in the Prius is that they made it very, the Prius V, assumedly Prius is moving forward, specifically Prius V models, or like Prius V. It's geeky and nerdy to see this kind of stuff, but it was very accessible. Very accessible. You don't need to be a geek or a nerd to figure out, oh, cool, that worked. And that's what I love about technology. I hate technology that slaps you in the face. It's one of the reasons why I don't like watching car reviews, because they're talking about like horsepower and torque, and I'm like, was it a good experience? Was it, who's it for? Did you like it? That's what I want to know. So the stats or the information that the Prius V has provided me over time has been very accessible. So I like that. I really like that. You know, it's easy to drive this car, and it's easy to save money on gas in driving this car. It made me a better driver. One of the features I liked was the backup camera. That's helped a lot. Pretty basic. They have a thing called lane keep assist, so this would be something that you might want to toggle, like if you're driving late at night and you were afraid of falling asleep, pressing the button would warn you if you were going over a line. That might help. Never had to use it, thank goodness. Never really used the voice controls in the car as much. The radio was ample, the sound was ample. I didn't, you know, ever use the voice system because, again, that kind of technology in the car is always like 10 years behind, I swear. Modern technology, like your smartphone, is more powerful than the built-in voice system or the nav system or anything like that. There's a massive disconnect. It's the technology that actually makes the car go that accelerates over time. Pun intended. So there's one feature that I wanted to talk about. Power windows, you know, no moonroof or sunroof here. You know, I've got a little sunglasses case. These are niceties. The one feature that is going to be impossible to live without, even though I will, this has been amazing. The cruise control. And I never thought I'd be a cruise control fan. I've used cruise control in the past. I think we all have. Most time, you know, you have to set, you know, your how fast you're going to go. You can decrease it, increase it. It's like an adaptive cruise control, so that if I'm going 60 miles per hour, set cruise 60. Someone is in front of me, he drops down to 55. Oh, well, normally in a cruise control, I'd have to stop cruise control, I'd have to, you know, adjust, and it would just be a pain. The adaptive cruise control would automatically slow down at a safe distance from the vehicle in front of you, and then if that vehicle sped up again, you would go back to your normal speed. So it was doing all the thinking for me. Loved it. Loved that. Using cruise control in any other way, and I've tried it, sucks. I can't stand cruise control unless it's this kind of cruise control. To me, the best feature of this car was that. It's comfortable. I loved this car. It was a very comfortable car. Did not take much getting used to. I wouldn't say the turn radius was great. I wouldn't say that the blind spots were great. I think visibility could have been better. But that type of technology made it easier for me to drive. I mean, even in town, like I set the cruise control at 40 miles per hour, if a car in front of me drops down to 35, I don't have to change my driving. I just keep driving straight ahead, but I'm going 35. Then he speeds up to 40, and then I speed up to 40 automatically. I don't have to think about it. And I'm the type of person who does not want to drive a car. I drive a car. I enjoy getting from point A to point B. I enjoy these things in the car, but only because they're nice to have and they make it a better experience. That's why technology fits. I don't like tech for the sake of tech. Tech for the sake of tech is a complete waste. I don't care about that. Did it make it a better driving experience? Yes, that did. Yes, that did. It really helped. It enhanced the overall driving experience. Sign me up for a self-driving car. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. It's coming. I know some people are just going to hate it, but I'm the kind of guy who just wants to get from point A to point B. I don't want to think about it. Make it easier for me. Make it more affordable for me. Make it safer for me. And that, if I had to give marks for the Prius V, I would say would score high marks. I'm very lucky to never have had to have tested its safety features. But I'm a safe driver. I'm a defensive driver. You know, I'm always very, very mindful about what's going on the road around me. Very, very mindful. There were times when it would warn me if I was, you know, a car was too close or I was too close to something. It would beep, 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 especially when driving, and it slowed me down. That was very nice to have. It was a great safety feature. That is, I think, the future of technology in vehicles, is making you a better driver, making you a safer driver. And the Prius V, even for the year that this was issued, I thought did a fantastic job. I never felt unsafe in this car. I never felt like it wasn't doing what I needed it to do. How fast do I need to go 70 miles per hour on, you know, the highway where that's the speed limit? How fast do I need to go? I don't care how long it takes me to get there. And the Prius V was fine for me. It was more than fine. It's very sad that I have to let it go, that I don't have a relationship with any one car manufacturer, Toyota or otherwise. And right now I'm in the stage where I'm trying a whole bunch of vehicles, reviewing a whole bunch of vehicles from my perspective, across the board. I'm not a fan of cars as much as I am a fan of what cars enable and what cars can do and the future of transportation and technology, not for the sake of technology slapping you in the face, but technology being accessible and giving you a better life. And I think the tech inside of the Prius V is one of the reasons why I liked driving it so much. This was a good car. I suck at car reviews, but I'm okay with it. No, I don't. I'm great at my own kind of car review, but I probably suck in the grand scheme of that's not what a car review should be. But this is my review of the Prius V. I'm really gonna miss the car. I'm going to miss TARDIS. Yep, just about everything about it. From the JC handles to the SOS button that I never had to use. I had a built-in remote control too for the garage. Gonna miss that. I know some of these features come in other cars too, but that's the thing, is a lot of those features come in other cars. I've liked this car. I think Toyota's got a good thing with the Prius. But now there are a lot of options out there. Toyota's not the only one. And maybe at some point I'll be able to drive another Toyota. I don't know. Where do I go from here? Well, my next car, which I'm currently testing. And you can expect a review on that as well. If I missed anything in this review, it was not intentional. Please do not hesitate to ask. I do intend on doing regular car reviews from my perspective and the way that I want to do reviews as the average person, talking to the average person. That's the kind of person I am. I'm just a guy. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.